Hello my friends, I'm finally back to do a long overdue update for the latest free VR downloads. Today we're covering 15 new free games and experiences. Many of them were once paid and have recently become free. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started right away with a fun little escape room. In Entangled, you play as a scientist forced into a conflict playing out across parallel universes. You solve mind-bending puzzles that deal with unique problems across multiple dimensions. Like, how do you get an object into the next room without it colliding with objects from an alternate realm? It's a room scale game that requires a space of at least 2.5 by 2.5 meters, because you'll need to physically walk into other rooms and portals into other realities. It's a short but still worthwhile free game. Good voice acting and exceptional graphics.
Hi. Yes. Hello, Dr. Smith. Not if you can hear me? Okay, good. But I can't hear you, so don't bother talking.
I wish it was longer because I really enjoyed it. Playtime is about 15 minutes. Marble Pop Paradise is a beautiful puzzle challenge suitable for all ages, and very reminiscent of Bubble Bobble. Don't let the seemingly simple appearance of the game put you off from trying it. This could easily be a paid game for how well made it is. Armed with a rubber band gun, you need to fire colored marbles at structures. Match 3 to pop them away. The specific goals of each level change all the time, like needing to release specific blocks or release specific marbles. Within your very deadly weapon, you can swap the next available color that you see. Over time, you'll earn special marbles like bombs or rainbows that will eliminate any color. The environments are beautiful and relaxing. It's a very inviting environment that makes it easy to get lost in the gameplay. And there's an absolute ton of levels. This could easily entertain you for many hours. Like I alluded to before, I'm surprised this is being offered for free given the quality and quantity of gameplay in here. It's a must download. Get lost in nature with Luke. Luke seems like a pretty nice guy, and he invites you to join him to experience scenic locations in the United States and around the world. This is perhaps the best looking photogrammetry tourism experience I've ever seen. They did an amazing job capturing these environments, including the moving water. These places look stunning in VR. There's currently a handful of places to choose from, and you have the option of hearing Luke's facts and thoughts about the location.
Well, welcome to what I believe is known as Raft's Chasm in Gloucester in Massachusetts. A beautiful cove by the sea.
I really love virtual tourism. I think it's a taste of what the future of travel will be like. So I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I hope they expand this to include more locations in the future. When you take a look at the Steam page for Super Raft Boat VR, you might not think much of it at first glance. But this game is a perfect example of not judging a book by its cover. It's a roguelite shooter where you must survive waves of sea creatures while building your Super Raft boat. Normally, I don't even like roguelites that much, but I found the gameplay to be incredibly addictive and fun. On one hand, you've got a gun to eliminate all the dangers coming your way. On your other hand is a magic hammer that builds up your raft so you have room to move. Some enemies try to harm you directly, while others try to destroy your raft so you drown. And for such a colorful game, you'd be surprised at how often you get scared at what's happening right behind you. In between rounds, you get your choice of power-ups, and the only mode of movement is sliding, unless you're lucky enough to have a massive playroom. Super Raft Boat VR is a ton of fun and easy to pick up. I highly recommend it. Children of Fafnir is an adorable little puzzle game that's full of charm. In 7 levels, you need to get all the tiny dragons to reach the drinking lake so they can summon the strength to fly away. Click on a dragon to take control of it like you're using a gamepad, and also directly manipulate other objects with your hands to enable the dragons to reach the goal. Oftentimes, the challenge lies in doing both of those things at the same time. This little puzzle adventure is a delight to play, and provides about an hour of playtime. And just a heads up about the initial setup, whenever I launched the game, the initial sit or stand setting was always very low near my feet, but after choosing one of those, it then became properly centered.
Woohoo! Welcome to the fairy ring! I am the Green Fairy!
It feels like there haven't been very many new VR films these days, especially ever since Google Spotlight Stories closed its doors. But thankfully, Green Fairy VR is here to fill that need with great gusto and personality. It's a family-friendly adventure about the Green Fairy's journey to appreciate her unique green glow.
I guess I could pop into the fairy markets to get some help.
This film is all around platinum grade. Exceptional animation, voice acting, and art direction. It's a standing height experience, and you'll need to turn all around you to see everything played out. If you're a fan of short VR films, then it's a must download. Runtime is about 12 minutes.
Ugh.
If you want to see more great VR film experiences, I'll link to my roundup of other exceptional VR films in the video description below. Turtles all the way down. We've all played stacking and balancing challenges before, but never one quite like this. Stack turtles upon one another, all on top of a massive turtle base that walks along rugged terrain. Basically, if you love turtles, you'll be in heaven here. Stack as high as you can until the towers begin to fall. You're allowed 5 falls total. If you stack using opposite colors, then the turtle's grip is better. And I've gotta say that some of these turtles really do have an impressive grip. For a unique and creative new stacking game, check it out. The rest of the games and experiences in this video were once paid and have recently become free. Museum of Other Realities is an immersive art showcase museum that's only possible in VR. It offers a growing collection of mind-bending VR artwork and interactables. The museum really utilizes all the new possibilities that VR artwork can do, like being able to shrink down into a small size to see the exhibit up close, interactable exhibits that you're encouraged to play in without getting in trouble, and clever use of portals, which for me does not get old. The artwork on display is changing all the time, so you can keep coming back to see what's new and fresh. You can appreciate it all by yourself in single player, or meet others in the museum in multiplayer. For a free VR art museum, it's outstanding and well worth your time.
It feels just as real, but almost like it's more surreal, so it's like funner.
And also because, we're standing right next to an ice cream. I was wondering if you could talk about why this visual style and how did you come to find it?
Disco Destruction. You are now the DJ of a small Miami disco, and it's up to you to get this struggling venue back on its feet again. You need to read the customers' moods and play the correct music to keep them dancing. The longer they dance, the more money you make. With more funding, you can buy better disc packs, power-ups, or decorations. If you don't like the built-in soundtrack, you can add your own custom music to the game, which is a pretty cool feature. This is a one-of-a-kind VR game. Even if you think you won't like this, I say give it a shot because the challenge of live mixing music while reading a crowd is something I find to be really different and novel to play. Download this and take for a spin, a nice change from the usual games we see these days. In Evolution VR, you get to design and raise your very own aquatic friend. Move them in the water by guiding them like they're on a leash. They can eat creatures that are smaller than them, as you would expect, but the bigger creatures you need to either avoid or cautiously attack them to bring their health down. You customize your friend inside the Evolution Workshop. You place their power-ups and special abilities anywhere you like, and you can change their paint as well. The game starts out easy, but the later levels add new challenges with more deadly foes. I don't know what the price was before it became free, but judging it solely on being free, I think it's great. A nice casual challenge that's perfect for VR newcomers. In Zombie Hobby VR, colorful polygonal zombie men are approaching from UFOs to come eat your brains. But thankfully, you have a handful of respawning objects to throw at them to keep them away. It usually takes at least a few hits to bring down a zombie, so the difficulty actually ramps up rather quickly, especially since you're dead instantly as soon as they touch you. Some items have special properties, like throwing the clock will slow down time. There's 4 levels to choose from, all with unique props to throw. See how long you can survive to earn a high score. I think this would make a fantastic party game with people taking turns in the headset while others watch, especially since there's no movement locomotion to worry about, and it's instantly playable. Normally, wave-based defense games bore me pretty quickly, but I really have to admit that VR Hero Sentry brings a lot of new ideas to the genre. It surprised me quite a few times, and I think it's worth a look. You can choose between playing as a hunter or a wizard. The hunter uses a bow and arrow, the wizard commands an owl as the main attack. The hunter can summon a wolf to assist, the wizard can summon a spider, and so obviously, this game comes with an arachnophobia warning. Both classes also have secondary powers to choose from on the right hand, like for the hunter, it's magical arrows. In between waves, you can upgrade all of these powers and your armor. But the really interesting bit is that you can spend cash to recruit NPCs to fight alongside you, both knights on the ground and archers from above. You can't command them during battle, but having a small army fight with you makes it almost feel like an RTS. However, during the boss battles, your men will run away like brave Sir Robin, so the boss fights are all up to you. Top it all off with nice environmental graphics, and I think this is a real hidden gem of a defense game. If you don't mind the spiders, I say give this a go. The only mode of movement is sliding, and there's no comfort settings. Gravity Garden. Sadly, development on this early access title has been abandoned, and that's why it's now free. As a result of the halted development, you'll definitely see some bugs here and there, but it's still quite playable. Plant seeds, water, and nurture a variety of alien vegetation on your personal plot of land deep in space. Eat the fruit to experience interesting effects, and also unlock new modes. Or just explore this alien land and see what interesting critters you discover. It's all a giant sandbox experience where you are free to do as you please. For movement you have sliding, for which you can disable gravity, and teleporting. And just a heads up, when you launch the game, it all starts by dropping you from a tall height onto the ground, which you definitely wouldn't expect. For a free roaming and trippy gardening experience, check it out. Wardens of the Amber Cage is a multiplayer action dungeon crawler. Playable in both VR and flat screen. At the beginning you choose between 4 different weapons, and then you simply follow the fairies from room to find your way toward the bosses. The action is really straightforward. You basically just constantly run while holding down trigger to shoot. That's about it. The boss fights do make things a little more interesting, but it really is just a run and gun. I suspect if you play co-op multiplayer, it's probably more fun than single player, and since VR isn't required, you could easily get a group of friends together to play. In VR, you can move via sliding or teleporting. In Memory is a very short VR film. It was all over for me in about 8 minutes. You'll need to be standing for this experience because you need to step into bubbles to expand the story vignettes. Back when it was paid, I think this would have been a really tough sell because of the short length, but now that it's free, I say go for it. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. See ya!